Arizona has started removing non-citizens from their voter registration, from their voter rolls, in the order of tens of thousands. You heard that right, by the tens of thousands. In fact, it's close to 50,000. And to give you context, Arizona's last election was decided by just over 10,000 votes. This is a serious problem. And you have to ask how many other states have had this same issue brewing. I'm willing to bet quite a few. This is an article discussing this. This is from the conservative news outlet Breitbart and is written by Elizabeth Weibel. She writes, Arizona to remove almost 50,000 non-citizens from voter rolls. Arizona counties have started a process to work with the Department of Homeland Security regarding verifying voters' citizenship and removing non-citizens from voter lists. About damn time. This comes after America First Legal filed a lawsuit against Arizona's 15 counties on behalf of ezaz.org and Yvonne Cahill, a registered voter and naturalized citizen, according to Fox News. In the lawsuit, AFL argued that the counties had not been following a state law requiring people to prove their citizenship in order to vote in state and local elections. Per the outlet, while a 2013 Supreme Court ruling prohibits states from imposing registration requirements beyond the federal requirement that registrants must check a box affirming their citizenship, which, by the way, is really stupid, and the fact that it's still there is even more dumb, Arizona residents are still required to provide proof of citizenship to vote in state and local elections. Now, the Arizona law also requires that county recorders perform a monthly list maintenance to confirm the U.S. citizenship of so-called federal-only voters, a list of nearly 50,000 individuals who fail to provide proof of U.S. citizenship and were not allowed to vote in state or local elections. Again, the federal government needs to get off their rear ends and fix this problem. Anyway, the article wraps it up by saying AFL's lawsuit, which was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Arizona in August, was terminated on April 9th after the parties agreed to a stipulation of dismissal. The decision was seen as a win for AFL as 15 county defendants agreed to ask DHS to begin responding to requests to verify the citizenship of federal-only voters. Breitbart News has previously reported that states such as North Carolina and Virginia have removed thousands of foreign nationals and non-citizens from its voter rolls. And again, how in the world did we allow the potential for cheating to get to this point? But of course, officially, they say, don't you worry, my friends. Don't worry. Less than 1% of people that are non-citizens are voting in federal elections. But my friends, Arizona here, removing these 50,000 non-citizens from their voter rolls is a win for election integrity, albeit it's just one battle in a much greater war to stop the potential for mass election fraud. There are still many states to go, places like California, places like New York. And of course, there are still additional steps that need to be taken to ensure election integrity and that elections are legitimate, like completely getting rid of electronic voting and mail-in ballots, outside of a few rare exceptions, because all of those areas are rife and ripe for fraud. Now, of course, there are the usual suspects crying about how this isn't fair, that we need to allow unverified people voting because, hey, not everyone has easy access to documentation to prove who they are, to prove that they are citizens. People like those in the low-income class, the elderly, and of course the classic minority voters who, apparently because of their race, don't know how to get IDs.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
It is the classic example of the bigotry of low expectations. It's all absurd. It's a stupid excuse for a stupid group of people who desperately want to keep election fraud a viable option. And when it comes to this whole election fraud, the non-citizens voting, again, officially, the number is less than 1%. Which, in my mind, even 1% of total votes being non-citizens is too much. Even one vote is one too many. But the reality is, it's likely that it's a lot more because there is no way to know for sure how many non-citizens are voting when you have places like California and New York who are practically inviting election fraud by ensuring that they don't require any sort of proof of registration to vote. And knowing that there are 20 to 30 million illegal aliens infesting the country right now, election integrity is a critical issue that is long overdue for a crackdown. You cannot have a society that functions for long if people lose faith in elections. If you reach a point where enough people feel like there is no hope for change down the road because elections are rigged, you have a recipe for violence and eventual revolution. So good for Arizona, but it's just a start, both for them and for the U.S. nationally.